your question to start me off?
Well, here we are. We're in the middle of the great commercial centre, St Helier. And Jersey and Transition have got a shop where it's all free.
Yes. Yes, everything you see you get for free. That's what we shout.
So it's a bit of a conflict, isn't it?
I know, that's the idea. It's to make people think, partly, but it also to recycle the stuff, give stuff a new lease of life. I got this coat off here. It's done me a great deal of warmth over the years since I picked it up for nothing here. So stuff gets reused, but also it makes people think.
You think it does?
I think it does. People, the first idea for this thing came about with one of the JIT members saying, but I want to do something against Christmas. And we were saying to her, you can't do something against Christmas, everybody loves Christmas. She's saying, no, it's too commercial. It's everybody just grabbing your money off you to buy junk to give to people who don't even want it. And in the end, after we'd talked about it for a couple of months, we came up with this idea, this is something against the commercialism of Christmas, is let's give stuff for free, right outside the shops that are trying to charge big money for it.
Is this aspect of Jersey in Transition is a movement which goes on beyond boundaries? Is this idea of free shop, is that fairly widespread as well?
They've caught on quite a lot. There are free shops all over the place. I know of several in America that I'm in touch with via Facebook. There's a bloke in England, in Norwich, who's doing the same thing as this. There's lots of others. There's also this idea of these little free cupboards. People setting up just a cupboard or a fridge even outside their house or their place of work.
Telephone boxes.
Yeah, telephone boxes.
I mean, there's 2 telephone boxes down there, one of which works, one doesn't. So
well, there's a good use for the one that doesn't work. We could just fill it up with books and clothes and things.
Well, not publicity for your activities. You're on the radio more often than newsreader. You've got a column in the JEP.
I know, we're doing well. The column isn't actually Jersey in Transition, it's just me personally, but I obviously I can't easily separate myself from Jersey in Transition, so similar ideas. The idea is basically that we are heading for a big transition. If we carry on the way things are going, we're going to run out of atmosphere to dump our rubbish into and planet to rape and pillage.
Something's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't carry on the way we're doing, and so when you think it through, if we did away with all the things that are harmful, like crude oil and coal and deep mining and open cast mine for minerals and all of these things, if we somehow were able to do away with all of that, what would we have to also do away with in our everyday life? And it's quite a lot of stuff would go. And so that's partly what Jersey in Transition is about, is how would we get to that from here? There's a lot to change, there's a lot to think about.
It's revolution, but not as we normally think about it, isn't it?
It is a revolution. It's complete change, but there's no enemy. The only enemy is ourselves, really, because of our, laziness and profligacy.
Consumerism is a sort of, it is organised. You mustn't deny consumerism is quite well organised.
It is, yes, and we, the ordinary public, didn't invent consumerism. We didn't invent capitalism either, and that's the idea that people with a lot of money control the means of production of people who don't.
Certain well-known retailers, wholesalers, destroy their stocks rather than not make away.
Yes, and landlords who'd rather keep their shop or their flats empty rather than give somebody a lower rent, because if they gave somebody a lower rent, they'd feel they would be opening the floodgates to everyone wanting a lower rent. So yeah, rentiers, people who make their money by not doing anything but owning stuff, and capitalists in the true sense, the people who make their money by owning all the money. They're the ones who have the power to really change. We can only lean on them and offer our little bits of street art.
Well, you say you can only lean on them, but this is the frustration with your group, as far as I'm concerned, is why don't you put up candidates at the election?
Well, we would if we had any members of JIT who wanted to stand. I have to say, 3 or 4 potential candidates at the last election got in touch with me and said, is there anything from JIT that I ought to be incorporating into my manifesto, into my hustings and into my campaign? And I sat and had coffee with 3 or 4 of them and gave them some ideas and chatted us through things. A lot of the new intake in the States, I think, have got a much better grasp of the future than the old lot, the outgoing lot, had.
Well, the United Nations report that just came out, you'd have thought they would have frightened everybody from the bailiff down.
I know, this 1.5 degree compared to 2 degrees is a massive extra effort needed and a massive extra benefit if we can achieve it. So yes, it is something that should be making a big difference to the world, and it really doesn't seem to be making that much difference to any of the public discourse.
This, I mean, it's so cross-party. It doesn't matter what your politics are. It's going to affect everybody.
It really is.
But it won't even any of the candidates even wear your badge.
I know, and I wish they would. And we've tried to be as non-threatening and as all-inclusive and as non-aggressive as we possibly can in all our works since we started JIT in 2010, which is, 8 or 9 years ago now. We've tried to be as open and inclusive and as pleasant as possible, but there are massive life-threatening problems coming down the line, not only for people, humans all over the world, people who are having to migrate because of climate change, people whose rivers are poisoned, but also the non-human inhabitants on whom we all depend and share. They are literally going extinct while we carry on with our profligate ways.
This little public face, it's here every month, once a month. What day, normally a Saturday?
Last Saturday of every month we have this store. Yeah.
People can bring stuff, give it to you as long as it's clean and usable.
Exactly. As long as it's suitable for a gift. It's a gift stall, and so the idea is you give gifts and we give them straight on to the next person. Right. And they're all around us at the moment picking them up.
I say, you're a bit depleted, you could do us some stock.
We could this month. So, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, you're welcome to it if you know what it is.
A mystery store.
Yeah. It is. It's some kind of electronic thing. It's a loudspeaker, isn't it? It's a little USB loudspeaker, and some lad has got it, and he's very happy with it. So yeah.
You want to tell us?
No, I'd like to see more people taking this more seriously, but I can't twist their arms. If people can't be bothered or feel they've done their bit, well, that's the best we can do. But somehow we've got to do a lot more than this. I think we need to have some more action at government level next. I don't think that people boycotting the shops they don't like and giving their stuff away for free when they can is enough. I think we need some government level decisions on public transport, on planning and open spaces, on the pouring of concrete, which is a terrible crime in a lot of ways, ecologically speaking. We need some government leadership.
It's the farming conference in November.
Oh yes, that's another one, the dead soil.
Will you be putting this stall up there?
Well, I don't think we'll be putting this stall.
Ploughshares and swapping for you?
We've got several very active JIT members who are interested in farming the soil and the natural outdoor world, and so we'll be supporting them in their efforts.
They don't invite you, I take it. Whoever organises the conference, they don't invite you to come along.
I've been invited to something coming up in the next few weeks to do with solar panels and the not the opposite of subsidy, the extra charge.
Right.
So our views have been invited on that, but no, we haven't been invited to the farming conference as such. But I know that we've got some much more active members than I who will be putting their all in.
Well, you keep the flag going. You've got a website, you've got a blog site, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And there's a good, lively discussion on there.
It does keep going.
I just wish they'd do more than discuss, but there we are, that's me.
I think that for what the ordinary Joe public can do, we've done it, we've been doing it, I've been doing it for 40 years, since the 70s. This is not something that the ordinary public can fix. This is something that needs to be fixed at government level by government initiatives. And they have to be government initiatives that are quite punitive against those who are doing the harm. And again, so it's the businesses and the profiteers who are doing the harm.
They put out their 5-point strategic plan last week before. Didn't see
nothing much
support Jersey in transition.
Nothing.
Was on top of the list.
It certainly wasn't, and there's nothing much to do with the environment and the future without crude oil that we have to be heading towards. It's all about tweaking this and twiddling that and trying to keep everybody happy, trying to keep the world going almost exactly as it is with the minimum of small changes. And we're never going to get anywhere like that. We've got to make some massive changes in the next 2 years so that we're on target for another 10 years after that.
Well, I should post this on the net and I should put it on your site, but I feel always we're preaching to the converted, aren't we?
Unfortunately, this is the case. On things like the Jersey in Transition Facebook page, just about everybody there already knows all this, already agrees with it. A lot of the politicians in Jersey, when you talk to them one-to-one, they understand it and appreciate it too, but they all say, oh, there's nothing we can do, you know, we need the public behind us. Well, we are the public, we are behind you, we want a lot more activity.
Well, they want the public behind them, they should be out there leading the public. So
well, there is that. No, well, they say, no, we can't lead the public, we have to follow because we need the votes. And then the public say, oh, we can't do anything. Yeah, the public say we can't do anything because we need the government to change the laws and the rules to make it more possible, because we can't make any money if we don't do it the same way that everybody else does it. So, you know, yes, everyone's chasing their tail down a rabbit hole when in fact the world is suffering because of the lack of activity.
Okay, that'll do for now. That's 10 minutes. The public will watch 3 minutes of that, and that's what we have to put up with. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.